Welcome to the Meadow. 2 years ago, we bought an old 70s house with the idea of fixing it up for our family of 7. My husband and I run an interior design firm in Great Falls, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C., where we also rehab and flip houses. We've moved every couple of years as our family has grown, and I've used our homes as my design laboratories, exploring and honing my style, and also using our houses to showcase our design work for potential clients and the various product collections that I design. Each house we've lived in has been an invaluable learning opportunity for our family. As much as we loved the house we had been living in for 5 years, which was a long time for us, the moment we stepped foot into the Meadow, we knew we had to go. It simply called to us. I've been designing a house in my head for over 15 years. In my early 20s, I used to pull tear sheets out of magazines, and when Pinterest came along, I pinned photos of what my dream house would look like. I was scouring the internet and the magazines for every little idea and every image I could of what my dream house would one day look like. When I came across the real estate listing for this house almost 5 years ago, instead of creating a new Pinterest board for it the way I usually do when I find a new house, I started pinning directly on my dream board because I knew that this house could be my dream house. It's now time to make all those little decisions I've been waiting so long to make.
All right, so Dave and I are here at the Meadow, and it's not feeling very meadowy. It's pretty cold today. And we have to switch gears with our fireplace situation here. We used to have a wood burner, and I've always loved this niche situation here. And our initial idea and thoughts these past 2.5 years have been to put a fireplace at 36 inches high, have a little bit of countertop in front of it, and cook here in our kitchen. But we met with the fireplace specialist yesterday, or I don't know, maybe 2 days ago, and they let us know, and we all kind of realized as we started calculating things that this is not true fire brick, so we would have to put fire brick in front of it, which is 8 inches thick. So that'd pull us out to here. We'd have to put fire brick here. That there basically would be there'd be like 1 inch, if that, to actually get the smoke out from the fire. So our fireplace is a no-go in the kitchen. But in some weird way, I think this is a good thing. I had been thinking about how I would have loved to do a 2-sided fireplace from our living room to our kitchen. This cinder block here is the back side of the living room fireplace. In our old house, we had a 2-sided fireplace, and I loved it. It was between our living room and our dining room. And I've been thinking here about how I am not going to want to start 2 fires, start one in the kitchen and then move over to the living room and have to start a new fire. So I asked the fireplace specialist if we could cut a hole in the back of our old fireplace. And while it's not quite that simple, they will have to actually completely change the shape of the fireplace. They can cut a hole in the back, and we can get a 2-sided fireplace. So our fireplace that was going to be here is now moving over here. And that is about, I think, 20 or so inches up from the ground. So I will still probably put a cauldron in it and cook off of it. But it's not going to be the same as that countertop situation I was going to have. So going back to this niche here, we now have to figure out what we're going to do with this bad boy. It's a lot of space. And I'm kind of excited to get all this extra storage and function in the kitchen that was previously going to be a fireplace. So we're now looking at it from a storage point of view, and we don't know what we're doing yet. So Dave is here, and the two of us are just going to have to kind of figure it out, have a conversation, and he will be a part of that. Okay, we'll measure that.
Well, it's 7 feet.
Yeah, it's a good, for 7 feet, I mean, it's a good
That's
amount.
a lot of countertop.
Okay, so we're going 36 inch up for a space. And then we want to use this for like wine, food, whatever. This is a nice thing for parties. And then what else do we want to do? I think just like a shelf here, like things we actually use there. Because today, we were folding the napkins and putting them away. I was thinking this would be a good spot for that. I currently have napkins going in over there. But with the table being right here, it's like this is more like dining room.
I like entertainment, like platters, barware, like
Yeah.
napkins, I like that here. That makes more sense. It seems like we'd be doing baking and bread and stuff over there.
People love to say that designers really only care about things being pretty, and that is one of my absolute pet peeves. As a designer, I need things to be as functional as they are beautiful. And so I spend an obsessive amount of time trying to figure out how to arrange things so that I can live my best life and help my clients do that in their homes. Though I'm terrible at it, sketching is one of the things that really helps me think through ideas.
So we made our decision, went back and forth about a lot of different things, but we have decided that we are going to, we have to bring this whole thing forward because we have these for support here. So we're bringing this wall forward. We're just going to get brick tiles. So they'll look like brick, but they're actually just thin tiles. And we're going to retile the new wall that has to go in for the structure. And so it'll look very much like this brick. And then we're going to kind of do like a German schmear type thing over the entire thing. So basically a stucco going over the entire thing. So you won't see the red brick, but you'll still sort of see the outlines. And that'll go over the new bricks as well. And so you'll have sort of this kind of barely there sort of arched outline for this area. And then we're going to do a 36-inch high countertop here. We're going to inset cabinets underneath. And then we're going to do a shelf here for a bunch of my old like bowls and vases and that kind of thing. And then I'm gonna try to get some candles in here, little candle sconces, so they'll light up really pretty at night and be kind of soft and charming and romantic at night. So that is our current plan. We will keep you posted, but I'm glad to be done with that. I'm excited to get all this extra space too. So that is fun.
As construction rolls along, so does life. Our son Louis has really started to love all things construction, and we have continued with our obsession for trying new things in the kitchen at home. Dave taught us how to hand toss pizza dough from his many years of working at a pizzeria in high school and college, and we are really starting to enjoy the fruits of that labor. We have gotten into sourdough. We are doing lots of laying around in the bed with the dogs and the kids and making some road trips down. Our first homemade bread. It's a beaut. Things are as busy as ever at work, and we are installing new houses and designs constantly. Here is a really fun one we recently did in DC. Though my mind is constantly wandering to what life in the meadow will be, I really want to stay focused on what life is like right now. Caring about the little things really helps me do that. All done. Yum, yum, yum. When you have your mind set on a goal, it can be really easy to live in the future and stop living in the present. Romanticizing a future way of life in a dream house is a very unhealthy way to go through time, so I have really tried to stay focused on enjoying the present moment throughout this entire process. We only get to do this life once, so we may as well enjoy the journey.
We are at the Meadow trying to decide if we are going to do hardwood floors on the diagonal or straight. Straight was kind of the original like go-to thought, but for the past, I don't know how many months, I have been thinking to do these floors diagonal, but I'm really struggling with the decision for a few different reasons. One, my stair railing style is a bit, it's a Northern Italian stair railing that I saw, and it's got a kind of like Nordic feel to it. So that would feel a little bit off with diagonal floors. So if it's diagonal, we said we would run it this way, so it's sort of like away from our bedroom, so the eye is more drawn to the more public area. And then in the kitchen, we would run it this way, and they would basically meet here. So that would go this way. In the bedroom, we would run it that way. So they'd basically switch. It'd be like a huge chevron thing happening. The kitchen, the diagonal would be running this way, which I like the energy of that.
I think it would feel like old subfloors, which was the idea. So kind of like raw and almost unfinished looking. We're doing gaps in the hardwood flooring also to make it feel old. So I'm really just trying to bring some character in here. I don't know how I feel about it in here. I already got the round going on. What do you think?
Seems kind of hodgepodgey, if I'm being really honest.
It might be too hodgepodge. Like I love the squareness of this room with the round and then adding that third element.
Just makes it a little busier.
Makes it busier.
Hey, this is a crazy idea. Would this help?
I like crazy ideas.
What if you made the railings like diagonal?
Is that real? That you're being helpful. I think so. Here's the thing that I like about the diagonal. It looks like antique subfloor, right? Like when some of those historical houses we're doing get stripped down, they have this beautiful diagonal subfloor. And I always walk in and I'm like, I like this better than whatever floors we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's where I like the rawness of it. Like it just definitely has that feeling to me. But it's not gonna actually be unfinished like subfloor. So I know I would love how it would feel in this room in particular. These 3 rooms I really wanted in.
But you don't want it in the family room, you don't want it in the mezzanine.
I think I could get used to it in the family room. Let's go look at the mezzanine. Let's go see what that looks like. So I thought this would be like really beautiful diagonal going down this direction. And I'm honestly, I'm kind of tired of all the same. You know, we've always had it the other way, which is normal. But it'd be kind of exciting to have something different. But I really don't know. Like obviously if I was doing plain iron railings, I would do this in a heartbeat. But those Northern Italian railings, it's not really the right 2 languages talking because they're kind of wild. There are times when I fall in love with 2 completely disparate elements and I only get to do one of them. This is one of those cases and I think I'm gonna have to pick the diagonal floors or the amazing railings. Diagonal makes it more free and easy breezy feeling, which to me is a lightness of being that is similar to quiet. It is like more playful. This wind is crazy. Honestly, the house feels pretty sturdy. Like, you can just hear it, but there's no like sway.
Nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we still have missing doors, and we don't even have windows up here. That's great.
Yeah, it is.
It's a solid house.
Yes, it is.
Going back to that feeling of freedom though, and like playfulness versus seriousness. I want this house to feel fun, playful, like free feeling. And so not that like straight hardwood floors are gonna take that away, but going diagonal is one more almost like energetic element that has a more free feeling than straight and in line and clean and structured. You know what I mean? But I know what you mean about the quiet. We want quiet too. I'm really struggling with it because I have the fight inside of me, like, do I want this house to feel like a monastery and be completely quiet, which there are days when I want that. And then there's the other part of me that's like, I want like, you know, Cotswolds, like stone and layered and medieval fireplaces and, you know, granny vibes. So somewhere between that, we've got to make this decision. What do you think?
I don't know.
Interior design firm Lauren Lease Interiors recently finished up a historical project in the Plains, Virginia, and I thought I'd take you along. There are elements and materials in this house that we will be using in our house, so I thought it would be fun to show you what they look like in our client's home. This area that you're seeing is actually an outdated addition that was put on the back of their beautiful historical home. And so our job here was to take the addition and make it feel historical, feel as if it could have always been a part of the house, and also to make it functional and practical for this family. create a sense of permanence and timelessness in homes, I like to employ materials that have been around for centuries. You'll see those in this house and also in our house and a lot of our clients' projects. You'll see beams, stone, plaster, and lots of incredible, real, authentic metal finishes like unlacquered brass and zinc. For furnishings, I like to do a mix of old and new, vintage pieces, antiques, and then I tend to go new on my upholstery, though I will not say no to a really great vintage piece. I also tend to use a lot of vintage lighting and mirrors wherever I can, and then I use some really incredible brands like Atmosphere for my plumbing fixtures so that they look authentic. Our clients for this project shied away from rugs because of their dogs, but I think we convinced them to bring a few rugs in, so I can't wait to show you the full afters. The stone walls in our client's house are an element that we will be doing in our home, so we are at the stone yard picking out our stone. I'm wanting to do a mix of sort of golden mustard tones mixed with white tones mixed with brownish gray tones. So I have to use 3 different stones to get this look. All right, so we're making some decisions here. We're using the Williams ledge for the main stone throughout the house. And then we're just gonna do 2 small palette orders for some accents of this white. What was that one called? The white one? Clearview, the white, just to add a few more whites in there. And then we like these brown black ones as well. And that's called Oak Ridge. Our stones are from West Virginia, so I'm really happy that it's a local stone. Hi, I am here on site and it is freezing. So I'm just gonna show you a little bit. We got the most beautiful snow this week. So the house is completely empty and no one's doing anything. But we've been sledding. I'm going to show you here the backyard. You can see we do have neighbors through the trees. Sorry, I'm freezing. I love it at night because you can kind of see their houses twinkling and it reminds me of like an old-fashioned village, a little Christmas village back here. Can't wait to get here. I'm going to show you some more views. It is freezing. Our kitchen window, which just looks like a little Christmas situation. So excited. We're here today for an electrical walkthrough. So I'm hoping that can be pretty fast, but it's gotta be super detailed. So I gotta not cut any corners even though it is freezing. With winter, construction projects tend to slow a bit, but that's okay for us right now. We are loving snow days at our temporary house and especially at the little hot cocoa bar in the kitchen. We can now officially say that this will be our last winter in the temporary house, and so we are very grateful for the respite that this house has been for us.